regular board meeting. Norwood City School District Board of Education follows a bi-monthly meeting schedule. The first meeting of the month is called our committee meeting. At this meeting, we fully discuss our agenda for the board meeting to be held the third Thursday of each month. As board members, we encourage you to attend, watch, and listen to our committee discussion. Meetings are public and visitors are welcome. Will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Rosa?
Present.
Mr. Atwood is absent. Ms. Ballard? Here. Mrs. Cole?
Present.
Mrs. Rayburn?
Present. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1.04 is the adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Mrs. Rosa?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Rayburn?
Yes.
Item 1.05 are the minutes from our July 18th regular meeting. I'd like to motion to approve these minutes as written.
I'll motion. Or I'll second.
Thank you.
Is this for both sets of minutes?
They're separated, so
Okay.
this is
Okay. Mrs. Rosa?
yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Rayburn?
Yes.
Item 1.06 are the minutes from the August 13th, 2019 committee meeting. I'll motion.
I'll second.
Mrs. Rosa?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Rayburn?
Yes.
Moving on to item 2, we have a presentation, the opening day video. Dr. Zabo?
Thank you, Madam President. On Friday of last week, our teachers officially returned to school. And on Monday, we had our kickoff where everyone in the district gathered at the high school gym. And so it was a great time together. And then on Tuesday, of course, the teachers worked diligently in their classrooms getting ready for the children, which came on Wednesday. So we've had an incredible start. Incredible is our theme this year, so you'll hear us talk about the Incredibles or Incredible. However, we wanted to hear from our children what they think is incredible. And so Steve and Tyler put together this incredible video, and we did show it to our teachers, and we just wanted you to see it this evening.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kathy Sabo, Superintendent of Norwood City School District and proud Norwood graduate. We are so excited
Amazing what 2 weeks will make a difference, right?
And we believe it will be the best one yet. We always say that our best days are just ahead. As we plan for this school year, we're thinking about all the gifts and talents that our teachers possess and all those that will unveil, discover, and even tap into of our students. In this video, you're going to see and hear from our very own students what they believe each teacher and faculty member must possess when it comes to becoming incredible, superhero powers, the kinds of things that make us here in Norwood extra special. What do you think makes a teacher incredible?
I think teachers are incredible because they're nice and kind. The teacher has
What do you think makes a Norwood teacher incredible?
being nice. They be kind to
Teachers that respect their students and the students respect them.
when you respect the teacher, she respects you then. I like a teacher that has like a good humor and they're funny and so.
But also teachers that can be very strict at times.
If you're not strict, I can tell the kids to get
What makes Norwood City Schools teachers great and most incredible are their positive attitudes.
They're happy.
Somebody who is constantly positive.
Always in a good mood, like they start people, like they start people and like if they're really mean, then they can do. I think teachers are important because they can go in from harm. You have to take care of us to not get hurt. Teachers protect. A good teacher always be serious when someone is fooling another kid.
What makes an incredible educator is someone who truly has a heart for work.
Smart and she knows what she's doing.
An incredible teacher is someone who is thoughtful and deliberate about their preparation and respectful and kind to all.
They're caring. They're really helpful and they're thoughtful.
What makes the teachers at Norwood City Schools so special?
They're committed to caring to their students,
The passion and the love that they have for the students.
not about them, it's about their students.
I immediately think of my first grade teacher, Mrs. Whitaker. So one day I forgot my lunch money and I was embarrassed and didn't want to say anything. And Mrs. Whitaker lent me $1 that day. And that's just something that has stuck with me. And I was just able to see that human side and how she loved her students.
Beautiful and sweet, kind. They have to be really nice. Some are kind of mean.
What makes you do the most when they help you out?
To help you at school, someone to help the students along the way, even though like the lesson could be hard.
Have type ways. You have to ways to be smart. They help us learn.
An incredible teacher is someone who is determined to help all kids learn.
A good teacher helps everybody. They help you with lessons.
They do it step by step.
It doesn't sit there and watch the students fail. They give you advice, that's what makes a teacher great.
They really take the time to seek out and bring out the potential in every student so that they can shine.
An incredible teacher is one that sees no limitations in their students or themselves.
What makes teachers incredible is when they're really understanding.
Whenever I have problems, it seems to me that he's the only one that really understands.
They have the ability to be part parent, part friend, part whatever it needs them to be.
Someone who's willing to evolve and adapt,
Creative.
try new things, and meet the needs of our students who are always changing.
They understand that each student is different and they embrace those differences.
They have a special way of kind of feeling out what a kid needs in the moment, and they're able to become that.
What makes our teachers incredible here at Norwood City School is the relationships that they build with students.
It's how they have a connection with the student. So having a good connection with the student can have that student try to get better and better.
They inspire them to become better students, to maximize their time in the classroom, to look towards the future.
What makes a teacher great is somebody who loves to interact with their students.
Being good and talking to kids. So getting their attention. If you don't know how to talk to them, you're like, yeah, what?
What makes Norwood teachers incredible? Open lines of communication and engagement.
Our abilities to build those connections and relationships with our students, staff, and our wonderful families in the community.
Relationships that they build with students, the families, and the lasting impact that they will have.
What makes the teacher great? The fact that those kids just really find good education and do whatever they can to treat.
And maybe more than I expected.
They'll do whatever it takes to make them successful.
What makes Norwood teachers incredible? Their dedication, passion, and innovation to their students every single day.
He really does a lot for us.
I've seen students graduate from this district chasing their passions and end up doing amazing things. And I know that's done in part because we have incredible teachers.
I believe what makes a teacher or faculty member have superhero teacher powers is the act of having great joy. Joy, I believe, opens the doors for all kinds of abilities. Abilities to express what you know, and abilities to really enhance the learning opportunity. Joy is where it's at.
Teachers, if you're watching this, I love
Is that it? Oh, no. Excellent job, guys. Excellent.
You really did a fantastic job. I think it just really encapsulates who we are as a district, and you really got that. That was awesome. Or it was incredible. Item 3 is the education report, which there is none, and I just keep promising it's coming. School started yesterday, so we'll have one next week. Item 4 is the personnel with superintendent recommendations. 4.01 is resignations.
I'm getting there.
That's okay. I moved a little fast.
Thank you, Madam President and Board. I would like to recommend the following resignations under 4.01. Nancy Chandler, Paige Rudd, Leslie Hiller, Brandy Kyle Wiles, Eula Jameson, Andrea Foster, and then child care leave for Jill Norman.
I'd like to motion.
I'll second.
Mrs. Pleasant,
Yes.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Mrs. Ritter.
Yes.
Under employment, Madam President and the Board, I'd like for consideration item 4.02. Number 1 would be teachers on a 1-year contract for the 2019-2020 school year. Item number 2, student assistant and educational aides. Item number 3, supplemental contracts for the 2019-2020 school year. The sub rate for classified staff to be increased, and that's simply because we increased some of the other amounts and we just failed to remember those folks. Item 5 for kindergarten camp. Item 6, avenues for success. These are folks that will be serving after school programming. And then a change in status on number 7. You see a number of people who are moving from one position in the district to another position in the district. One item I do want to point out is our assistant band director. I think you challenges with work in the evening, expectations for band was a bit more than someone else recommended as assistant band director. On item number 8, we wanted to make some corrections to the board agenda from July 2nd. You'll notice a change in education. Same for the item just below that, correction to the June 2019 board agenda. Bold is coming up. And then, of course, more avenues for success, folks. Item number 10 is a correction to the June 20th, 2019 agenda. Again, a coach moving into the correct category. And that concludes my recommendations for employment.
Thank you, Dr. Steva. Anyone like a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second. Any discussion on these items?
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but somebody banned doors open 6311.
A black van that's parked right here
Oh,
next
that's
to the building.
fine.
This
But
side,
the-
Just close it.
I get to close it. We're close. Okay, I tried.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Charlie.
The teacher was loading in and out from that side door, because it's parked right there.
I told you I don't want to come to your an amazing picnic guy who hears about everyone in the
He's
world.
awesome.
All kinds of heroes, right?
Yep.
Sorry about that. So no discussion, correct?
I'd like to just honor Brandon's concern, since he's not here this evening, that we had for one of the pupil activity contracts. Have we been able to verify credentials and find out all the background that we need to do to make sure that is
Yes, these are
sufficient?
qualified folks to serve our students.
And I would just say that at this point, I mean, I would hope to prevent those kind of conversations because they are coming to us as recommendations. They've gone through the correct process already with being their, interviews and their training and certification, and they wouldn't come to us yet without So,
That's how I feel. I just want to make sure
Right.
that his choice, since he's not here, is honored and that is brought up at least.
Mrs. Morrison?
yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Ray?
Yes.
Item 5 is the policy committee report, 5.01, new policies and revisions of policies and regulations. There are none this month, but as Brandon suggested at the last meeting, he anticipates some on the horizon. Item 6, building and grounds committee report, Mrs. Cole. Item 6.01, use of facilities requests.
Thank you, Madam President. As we discussed last week at the committee meeting, we have 3 requests for the use of our facilities. Number 1 is from Cincinnati State and Technical Community College. They would like to have a soccer game at Shea Stadium on Friday, August the 30th, 2019. That begins at 11:30 until 4:30. That's a level E. As you'll see down in the administrative content, the athletic director is in agreement with this request and stated that the boosters plan to sell concessions during that game. Number 2, hydro swimming is an outreach swim program. They're requesting the Norwood High School pool and locker rooms, September 3rd through October 26, 2019, as well as April 6, 2020 through July 25th, 2020. Various days and times. This is a level E request. Per the content at the bottom, during the 2 time periods stated above, requested days and times are all Monday through Friday from 4:45 p.m. to 8 p.m., only 7:45 on Fridays, and Saturdays from 10:45 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Typically, sweeping requests like this will be conditionally granted with the understanding that during holiday breaks, the school facilities generally will not be available. The athletic director is in agreement with this request and states that the times will not conflict with Norwood's swim season or any Norwood recreation use of the Norwood High School pool. And item number 3, the Norwood Debate Committee, the mayoral debate. They're requesting the Norwood High School mini auditorium and as well as the Norwood High School atrium, Thursday, September 5th, 2019 from 6 to 9 p.m. This is a level C. And the candidate debate is to be filmed by Pace Television. Do we have any discussion?
We actually, point of order, have to motion first.
Oh, okay, sorry. Do I have a motion?
I will motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Discussion on this? Okay.
Mrs. Morrison?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Ray?
Yes. Item 7 is finance committee report, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you, Madam President. As I said at our committee meeting, July's financials look very good with our tax settlements coming in early. We also saw small savings on the budget side. Our July month-end cash balance was comparatively high to these factors at $15,447,522 for the general fund. This balance will drop for the next 5 months until real estate taxes come in again in January. While more information is trickling in from the state on new mental health funding for public schools, many questions are still not answered. I would like the board, administration, staff, and taxpayers of Norwood City Schools to know that while we are appreciative of the additional funding for mental health, we need to acknowledge that education funding for public schools for the next 2 years is now frozen at last year's amounts. In fact, if we were to look at all state funding sources, Norwood state funding has dropped by over $1.5 million in the past 4 years, mostly due to the phase out of tangible personal property tax reimbursements. Last year alone, our total state funding dropped by $400,000, which is about the same amount of our new mental health funding from the state. Again, while these amounts are the same, prior funding was unrestricted, and the new funding for mental health is restricted to use, and will have reporting requirements to prove how we spend it. So not all things are equal. On the agenda, 7.01, the financial reports are attached for your approval. 7.02, temporary appropriations, which is just our current budget for your approval. 7.03, an appraisal engagement letter for Allison. 7.04, some special education contracts. These are annual contracts for our students that are placed out of district. 7.05, a Hamilton County ESC annual order. 7.06, Norwood Ready Schools service provider agreements. These agreements detail the services provided for Norwood City Schools' youngest students, and services are paid through local grants. 7.07, SRO contract with Hamilton County Sheriff's Department. 7.08, release of funds to a new fiscal agent. Interact for Health and Tobacco 21 funds will be returned to Interact for Health so they can be reassigned to a more applicable health-related fiscal agent. 7.09, purchase order over $40,000. This purchase is for software from Apex Learning. 7.10, then and now purchase order. We've had a timing issue with the purchase order for summer instruction for $26,506.15 for your approval. 7.11, new student activity fund for Norwood Youth 5th grade. 7.12, ASOP enhanced sub-agreement. Last year we started the enhanced sub-agreement as a testing district. It's worked out really well for us. This agreement will continue that service. We found the service to be useful to get sub-teachers in our district at a time when it's really hard to find sub-teachers. We pay our dedicated sub-teachers $10 more than our regular teaching subs, and our retired teachers $50 more than a regular sub through this agreement. And then finally, 7.13, delegate and alternate to OSBA Capital Conference. So I've broken that out separately, so 7.01 through 7.12, unless there's any objections or
Okay, let's go ahead and motion items 7.01 through 7.12, so I'd like a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
You said just 1 and 2?
1 through 12.
Oh,
1 through 12.
okay, so we're separating 1 and 2.
Separating out 13.
I do have a question. 7.06 on Norwood Ready Kids. For the service provider agreement, is this going to be service, like new services taking place, or is this just a re-up of current active services?
That's correct. They're annual contracts.
Okay. And just from what I have read over it, it's not dictating where these services will be happening. So if it's a program, there isn't like a dedicated space or anything like that. Is that something that we can work with, maybe in partnership with Norwood Ready Kids, to provide them a space or work out a schedule of spacing? I know some community members have stepped up. It's been in various places all along. I recently had a person reach out. Some of the programs take place in churches, and the fact that it is a school function that's happening inside of a church, they're non-religious, and it made some of those parents maybe a little bit uncomfortable with attending one of the Norwood Ready programs in a church, which I completely understand with that. So it may be something that we would need to look at in terms of offering a space or working out community neutral places like the library or a local park or one of our gyms, as long as there is space available at that time, so that we can make sure that that space is cleared for them on the schedule.
I don't, like you said, I don't believe that locations are included in these agreements. These agreements are just saying that the school and those 3 providers are going to work together. Right. Now, this is the first I've heard that there may be location issues, but we can certainly work on that separately from these agreements.
That's what I was hoping. I just saw it in there and thought that it might be prudent to bring up, since we're re-upping the contract to continue this wonderful program. That we would like to not have anybody feel unwelcome in using that service.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Ray?
Yes. I'd like to motion to approve item 7.13, delegate and alternate for Capital Conference, November 10th through 12th.
Second?
Who are we nominating to be the alternate? That's the big question.
Right, do we know who is going as the delegate?
Well, I'm talking about the delegate first.
Do the delegate first.
I know that I'm available and have scheduled it since last year. I'd be happy to do that if that's okay.
I'm not able, I just can't, I can't leave my students. I can't. Anyone else interested in going or?
Days off would be the
Right,
problem.
okay. I might be able to. Do I have to commit to it now or?
I can always schedule it, and then they will refund our money if we can't go.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's
I think Brandon said if someone else wanted to go, he had gone last year, so if Sally's not able to, then I think Brandon would be
Helpful.
interested.
November 11th is Veterans Day, so oftentimes, sometimes people have those days off.
I do not get off that day.
Okay.
We'll be learning.
So that will nominate Amber, and then for our delegate, it'll be Sally, correct? Was there a second? I didn't write it down.
I seconded.
Amber, yeah.
Mrs. Orson?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Ray?
Yes. Item 8 is the hearing of the public. Norwood Board of Education Policy KDBEDH, public participation at board meetings. To further improve the communication between the community and the board, time shall be allocated at each regular or special board meeting to hear Norwood citizens and or representatives of school-related organizations. Public participation at committee meetings is limited to those invited to speak on specific issues. Each person wishing to speak to the board should fill out a form listing a name, address, and the agenda or non-agenda item and hand the form to the board president. Each speaker will have 5 minutes to address the board. No more than 15 minutes will be devoted to any one topic unless the majority of the board votes to continue the discussion. Speakers may offer such objective criticism of school operations as concerns them. However, the board will not hear personal complaints of school personnel or complaints against any person connected with the district. Concerns and comments about individuals should be brought to the attention of the administration. We have with us this evening Pastor Sonny James speaking on the community. Mr. James, I'll start 5 minutes when you're ready. Okay.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say welcome back. Another fabulous year that we're all alive and well and striving for good, positive results, corporately and individually. I want to just start off honestly by commending our superintendent, who had a huge challenge with construction for Sharpsburg in particular. But as I went to the open house and I saw just genuine support. You know, I'm real big on everything starts at the top. So if it's good, bravo. If it's bad, brr. But honestly, I think we are doing a great job in handling issues, tackling things that may not always seem positive or may not always look right, but I have to, you know, the Bible encourages me to give honor to whom honor is due. And the way she went on the group line, or I don't even know what you call it, where you call all the residents. All call, thank you. And she dropped a seed, she planted a seed that, yes, there might be some issues we're overcoming, but then in her dialogue, she offered comforting encouragement to say, hey, it might not be, but it's going to be. So don't worry, we're all together. And then walking into the schools and to see just the feel of the staff, how they weren't giddy about it, they weren't nervous about it. Now they may have been, but they didn't let anyone see them sweat. And that really has to come from leadership, because I'm sure when you're doing construction, it's frustrating. So I just want to say kudos. I also want to say that I'm all about diversity. Any one of you who knows me from the history of Norwood. And just when I look around our school base, I'm seeing tremendous diversity. I'm seeing us step up and do things in a way that quite frankly make me proud. And so I want to applaud you all. I'm loving seeing new faces, because with something new, that means you get new energy, you get new ideas, and then stuff that was old can now become fresh and new. So I just want to applaud all of you. I know this year we're going to have some challenges, but I'm very positive. I'm very encouraged that not just from the students, but I'm saying from the parents too. You know, and just looking at some of the different faces, I love diversity, and I love things that are daring to be different and new. And I think we're really getting that mix. So I'm just applauding. I'm excited about this school year. If there's ever anything that I can personally do to be a blessing to the board, to our schools, to our staff. Years ago, I did an anti-bullying thing in Sharpsburg, and they brought in all the sixth graders. And at the end of it, a lot of the children came up and they were in tears saying, "Pastor, I didn't realize I'm a bully." And they said, "I don't want to be a bully anymore." So a lot of the work that I do is behind the scenes, but I just want to make sure that you all know right from the horse's mouth, so to speak, that I really applaud what you're trying to do, and I really applaud the efforts from our superintendent, and I can see some really awesome positive changes. And so, giving honor to whom honor is due, I want to publicly go on record and say, I haven't always been a big fan sometimes, but you won me over with just truth and facts. And so, you got to give honor, you got to give credit, right? So, thank you all. Thank you to our superintendent, who's brought in much more diversity, much more openness to just people. And I want to just encourage you all, as you continue to address issues, continue to be open for the diversity, and that we can all keep coming together. And I'm sure the clock is kicking me out, but I just wanted to have a little bit of time to just say thank you. I kind of speak for that part of the community that usually doesn't feel they have a voice, and I can tell you, and I don't think any of them would be disappointed from me making this public statement. Whether they like everything, you never know. But they're seeing some changes. They're seeing positive changes. People are talking that who wouldn't have talked before. People are working together who wouldn't have worked together before. And I think a good example of that, I came in today and I'm sitting next to Dr. Sabo, and it just goes to show how, you give people a chance, they'll prove who they really are. And Dr. Sabo's proved to me who she really is. So thank you.
Thank you, Pastor David. Thank you.
Let's have a grill out.
We'll move to item 9, which is report 9.01. Anyone have any board announcements?
I got to go to 2 amazing workshops just before the school started. I went for CTE training up in Columbus through Great Oaks, and we got to learn all kinds of new STEM programs and really amazing technologies and a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily apply to us yet, but seeing where they were applying STEM programs into elementary schools and knowing the work that we're about to do, it just really excited me to see all those program ideas. And I'm like, ooh, we're gonna get this. And it's making me really happy to see all the developments that are going to be going forward. And as soon as I got done with that, I came back to Cincinnati and we participated in the one that was at Fairfield High School. And that was the High Aims workshop. And my friend is actually one of the administrators at Fairfield, and she got to present a workshop at that one. So it was very exciting to see her and support her doing that, and seeing so many of our own staff and teachers happen to go there and take part of it. And it was a wonderful, we had prisoners as well that were there. So a wonderful week of learning and improving and just seeing our teachers be so excited for this new school year really inspired me.
I had a similar experience. On Monday, Dr. Sabo invited me to come and speak at the faculty meeting, the district meeting. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. It is really incredible to be in a space like that with so many educators, and you could feel the buzz of excitement. Just to know that we have that many people dedicated to our kids and to educating them and caring about them was. It was a really, really great morning, so thank you for having me. It was awesome. It really was.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
You're most welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
I heard wonderful things, by the way, about your speech.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're recording. Where's that? Good to hear.
Yeah, it is good to hear.
It is.
It truly is.
9.02 Superintendent's Report, Dr. Sabo.
Thank you, Madam President and the board. We do have wonderful news to share. Our teachers officially met on Friday the 16th and the 19th for professional learning and worked in their rooms on the 20th. You might notice photos of teachers wearing capes or masks, or even talking about student superpowers, and that's because our theme this year is incredible. We started back to school with students on Tuesday, the 21st, and we used the Twitter handle hashtag Norwood First Day 2019. So if you'd like to see our photos, you can go to my Twitter account and take a look, or just simply search and you'll find them. Our flashing lights in front of our schools have been turned on today. We talked with the Ohio Department of Transportation. I would like to share that these lights were provided by the Safe Routes to School grant, not by Norwood City or Norwood City Schools. I am pleased to share that Norwood View will be getting such lights to ensure safety in that area also. The lights for Norwood View will be paid for by that same grant, Safe Routes to School, which is managed by our city. Norwood View gym floor was removed this summer, and the students know that there were, if you ask any of them, they know there were spots where if you tried to bounce a ball, the ball would not bounce back up to you. So we discovered this summer that likely the original sleepers underneath that wooden floor just had been damaged over 100 years. And so we intended to replace that floor this summer, and we did have a contractor lined up who did experience a personal emergency. And so after delaying us for a bit, that delayed us even more, so we then needed to look for a new contractor. And that new contractor, of course, business is good, but he's going to be able to get to us this week. Actually, he was there today and tomorrow preparing that floor. And then we really wanted the work to be not when children were in the building. So he's going to pour concrete on Saturday. And then we'll do a little bit more work next week, hopefully not when the children are there. And then they can get back on their cement floor. And then we have additional flooring that will be put on top of that, but that will be down the road a bit. So we're trying to get them back into shape, particularly before the weather turns. So it's good that they can have physical education outside for now. Our incredible innovation lab, taught by our STEM teacher, Mrs. Dykes, is ready, and we are up and going. So look for our billboard on top of the Mound Cafe to see our innovation lab logo, and of course the teacher, and a very special Ferris wheel. Construction is coming to a close at Norwood Middle School. We still have a very long punch list. I was up there just yesterday taking pictures of things that did not meet my expectations. So we have a lot of cleaning up to do also, and much branding that needs to take place, and as well as preparing the East Wing for the 6th graders next year. We do intend to have an open house, and we will wait to see how much progress is made this month in hopes of having an open house this fall. We thought the open house would be in September, but when we looked at the punch list, we're thinking, well, maybe October. So we'll keep you posted as that makes progress. Construction at Sharpsburg Primary is going along nicely, and I can say on this day it is on schedule. But let's remember that the Sharpsburg Primary construction is very different than the modulars. Those are two separate companies. So this week we did receive the permits, signed, sealed, and delivered, if you will, for the modulars after appealing the variance from the State Board of Appeals. So we are working to prepare the modulars for the start of preschool, and we will slowly move over grades K through 2 as those modulars are prepared and prepped by the teachers. And our parents are going to get to walk through the modulars where their child will learn when we host an open house.
Yay.
Yes, that will be important. They're really big spaces, so I think they're going to like them. Norwood citizens have recently engaged in a lot of dialogue about the safety of our water. We elected to have additional testing, not required, and we had that completed to ensure the safety of our drinking water here at school. As expected, our water is safe to drink in all of our schools and even at Shea Stadium. So parents have always been permitted to send their child to school with a water bottle if they so choose. This allowance was initially made because we didn't have air conditioning, but we will continue to make accommodations for students as their parents see fit. So I'm happy to report that the testing all came back certainly just fine. With school back in session, so are our much loved after-school activities, such as Avenues for Success and our sports programs. So just check our athletic website, use your app if you want to do it quickly for the latest game times or events. And if you want to know about the latest things going on, pictures of that, just follow me on Twitter. As always, we want to thank you for your support. And I give you this report with a great deal of love and honor.
Lots of exciting things. Item 9.03 is the Avenues for Success report. So let's see, let's backtrack to the beginning of the month. We had the bounce back to school and the splash back to school, which was tons of fun, and it was a very long day. It was very sweaty and very hot, and the kids had a blast. They had so much fun. I think the crowd was as many as expected. It was a pretty typical morning. We had the usual turnout. However, which was the coolest part of the day was the splash back to school, which I had never done before because I didn't have a middle schooler, and now I have a middle schooler, so I went and helped out. And there was the largest number of kids that had attended. There were over 150 kids. They all had a great time. They swam, they ate, they hung out, they made new friends. It was such a success. It was so good. Everybody left happy. And it was just, Laura and her crew they just run things just seamlessly. Everyone works together so well. So that was certainly kicked off the school year with a big success. She's now getting signups at all of the elementary schools for after school programs. So be looking for that at your elementary school. And there's a $30 sign up fee, and then the fees are variable, which she would have that on the sign up forms when you go to sign up. And that's it for the report for today. Sally? Legislative report 9.04.
Not much to report as the General Assembly had their summer recess. So hopefully there should be more to report next month.
Okay. Item 10 is meeting notification. 10.01, approval of future meetings. Committee meetings to be held Tuesday, September 10th, 2019 at the board office here on Williams Avenue. The regular board meeting Thursday, September 19th, 2019 at the high school mini auditorium, 2020 Sherman Ave. Just note that now that school's back in session and we'll have rising stars and lots of visitors and guests, that we will be at the mini auditorium for the duration of the school year. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
I'll second.
Mrs. Wood.
Yes.
Ms. Tyler.
Yes.
Mrs. Cole.
Yes.
Mrs. Ray.
Yes.
From the word that next Thursday meeting is the day after my birthday, so if anybody wants to show up to that meeting with cupcakes, saying,
What date is it?
it's on the 19th, you should come and see our first meeting.
With cup?
With cupcakes, sure.
Why not? Every meeting is better with.
Yeah.
Item 11 says item to move for separate consideration, but I have never none. Never none. Okay. And no executive session. Wow. We all wow. 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 All right, that brings us to 13, closing items. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Ms. Nicole?
Yes.
Mrs. Ray?
Yes.